Now take a look. This is 20-year-old Tyriana Ledbetter. Her mother says she is mentally disabled and doesn't have the mental capacity of a 20-year-old. Now, very little has been confirmed surrounding the actual attack. Gloria says her daughter was found unconscious, shoved under a bed in her cell. Her injury so severe, she's now on life support.
Hey, how you doing? From time to time, I talk about correction-related issues because I am a retired New York City correction officer. So I find myself compelled to explain the things that happen in jail because I know a lot of people, they don't know or they may have misconceptions. So I often find myself explaining a lot of things that go on. And I notice that a lot of times I'm defending what correction officers do because I know that a lot of things that happen in the jail are out of the correction officer's control. But today I'm not going to do that. Today I'm here to criticize a jail, and that jail is the Fulton County Jail in Fulton County, Georgia. This jail is very problematic. I've been watching this jail for several years, and it hasn't gotten any better. It is now under federal control, not control, but being monitored by the Department of Justice, and it still is not getting any better. There was an incident last month where a young lady was beaten and shoved under a bed by her cellmate, and the young lady is in critical condition. And I wanted to talk about this because this is not an isolated incident. These things are happening regularly, and attention needs to be paid to this in the hopes that it will change. So let me start by playing the news clip.
Now take a look. This is 20-year-old Tyriana Ledbetter. Her mother says she is mentally disabled and doesn't have the mental capacity of a 20-year-old. Gloria says her daughter was found unconscious, shoved under a bed in her cell. Her injury so severe, she's now on life support. Gloria says her daughter wasn't given the proper care due to her mental disability and should have never been in a cell with this suspect. She also wants to know why she wasn't notified immediately after the attack. Jail records show it happened on Monday, September 22nd.
This is a family that is truly hurting, and they tell me they have so many questions about what really happened at the Fulton County Jail.
This jail is not fit for a dog to live in. You getting people being ate up by bed bugs inside this jail.
She's been strangled. You can say whatever you want, but it does not justify of seeing how I had to go up in there and watch my baby fight for her life on tubes, also in her head. There are marks all over her body. She's unresponsive. I'm left to put the pieces and find out what has really happened to my daughter and why no one even contacted me.
Ms. Buckner alleges the sheriff's office is not transparent and waited days before contacting her. She blames not only inmate White, but the sheriff's office as well.
They've got somebody that they're charging, but that still does not. It goes all the way down to the staff. It goes down to the people who are in there. Somebody should have seen my daughter under the bed.
Barnett says he plans to contact the GBI, the FBI, and the Justice Department. The jail is already under a consent decree for past deaths and injuries. Ms. Buckner says Tyriana, who attended high school in Conyers, reads on a 6th grade level.
Now, this is tragic. She was arrested for armed robbery, but everybody's innocent until proven guilty. And the last thing a family wants to hear is that their loved one who was arrested and now is in critical condition. Now, I look at this young lady's picture, and she looks like Jennifer Lopez to me. This shouldn't happen to anybody. Now, inmates do get into fights, and inmates do get hurt. And probably if this was just an isolated incident, maybe I wouldn't even be covering this. But this is something that happens regularly at this facility. People get hurt, people die, people get extorted, the conditions are deplorable, and nothing seems to change.
The family says the sheriff appears to be just going through the motions.
He wasn't sincere. He wasn't sorry. He even got smart with my mother in the waiting room over her dead child, sitting in the bed. Sick child.
I don't know the sheriff personally. I've seen him on television, and I see him as a sincere person, but I see him as a person that doesn't know how to run a jail. Now, what I notice, not only in Fulton County, Georgia, but I've noticed this, the community will select a sheriff that has public safety experience. You know, maybe they were the deputy sheriff or something, or maybe they were in the police department, but they usually are good at public safety. They know how to conduct investigations and things like that. But part of the job of being a sheriff is to run the county jail or run the jail in your jurisdiction. And I see that a lot of sheriffs don't know how to run a jail. I saw the same thing when I looked at New Orleans, when you had the escape in May of 10 inmates all escaping at the same time. And then I heard the sheriff and her, I guess, supervisor's explanation of what happened. And I'm like, these people don't know how to run a jail. Now, the incident that the activist was talking about the guy who died because he got eaten by bed bugs.
You getting people being ate up by bed bugs inside this jail.
He got an infection because he had gotten bitten over 1,000 times by bed bugs. I want to play you some of that so you can see where I'm coming from. Check it out.
Well, LaShawn Thompson had been held in the psych wing of the jail for 3 months when an officer found him unresponsive in his cell. His family tells me by that point, they couldn't even recognize him.
He was definitely a heavy-set guy, and from those pictures, he looks totally different. He's not the same person.
Brad McCrae says these pictures of his brother that he shared with us, 35-year-old LaShawn Thompson, are hard to look at. His cell at the Fulton County Jail covered in filth, and his body covered in sores and bites from bedbugs and lice.
It looked like he wasn't eating in jail, or malnutrition, or maybe the bed bugs did it.
The Fulton County Medical Examiner report lists his cause of death as undetermined, but noted a severe bedbug infestation. The family says Thompson was brought to the jail on a misdemeanor simple battery charge in June and was put in the psych wing because the jail was aware of his schizophrenia. They are now demanding the jail be closed and law enforcement open a criminal investigation.
What's sad about this guy was arrested on a misdemeanor, and within 3 months, this guy was dead. They said he lost over 30 pounds while he was in the facility, and he was diagnosed as having a mental health issue, and he was put in the mental health area of the jail. Now, jails have mental health housing areas or mental health wards, and those wards are monitored by mental health staff. Trained mental health professionals are supposed to be tracking these inmates and administering whatever type of psychotropic medication they have. They're supposed to be examining them regularly, meeting with them, talking with them, have them in therapy if they need therapy. They are supposed to know these inmates and have contact with them. This is not supposed to happen, especially in a mental health ward that is being run by mental health professionals. So something is wrong in Fulton County.
And the family's attorney tells me they're doing their own investigation to determine if the bug bites caused the infection that killed Thompson. They say if they get that proof, they intend to sue.
Spoiler alert, they sued. They found out that Thompson was neglected, and the Fulton County Board of Commissioners awarded the family $4 million. That's our tax dollars. I have no problem with them giving them the money because they deserve it. But this all could have been avoided. And there's incidents that happen like this regularly. And that's why I want to expose it and bring attention to it. Now, let me just play a little bit of their lawyers and what they have to say about what happened.
The sheriff put out a statement, as you all may recall, that the death at that time was undetermined. The dependent autopsy from the Fulton County Medical Examiner put undetermined, as you all recall, as the cause of death. We now have the independent autopsy results. So we now know what caused LaShawn Thompson to die. And it was criminal negligence. As you recall the facts of this case, he was arrested in June of last year. He was thrown in that cell in the mental health ward and left there to die. He had no medications, as you've heard. He was dehydrated. He had no food. He was not bathed. And I have to remind you, you can show this, I believe, the picture of the cell. This is the filthy conditions that LaShawn Thompson was housed in for 3 months at this jail. No one ever came in to help him. And Attorney Trump said, decompensated schizophrenia means you cannot help yourself. He was unable to clean his own cell. He was unable to care for himself. It was their responsibility to care for him, and they did not. So what happened was, slowly over time, he was dehydrated, he was malnourished, he lost, we now know, about 30 pounds. And he was lying there in that cell, and the rhythm of his heart began to beat out of whack, out of control. It was an arrhythmia. So the autopsy report calls it a cardiac arrhythmia. If you want to breathe it home. So what it says here, this is Dr. Mitchell. For these reasons, it is the opinion of this forensic pathologist that Mr. LaShawn Thompson died due to severe neglect, the combination of dehydration, rapid weight loss, and malnutrition, complicated by untreated, decompensated schizophrenia, which means, again, he could not care for himself. All of those factors led to a fatal cardiac arrhythmia. LaShawn Thompson's death is no longer undetermined.
This is emotional. I mean, this is god awful when you think about it. And I know some of you, we're not going to show the picture of his face and body, but the family want people to see, just like Mamie Till wanted people to see, because if people don't see, people don't care. And people need to care about how we treat the mentally ill in our society. Amen. And so, just his eyes, nothing more than his eyes. You see these bed bugs, these lice, they were not only in his eyes, they were in his nose, they were in his mouth, they were in his ears. And Attorney Harper, what we got, over 1,000 bites all over his body. And that's how they found him. You're going to hear the family members talk about how inmates contacted them saying he was asking for help, and none of them would help him. Attorney Harper is going to break it down about how the medical staff didn't even check on him. They admitted they didn't check on him for days, even though they were supposed to be checking on him daily.
Yeah, that's right.
Daily.
I mean, 2 hours.
And they didn't.
Everybody who worked that housing area and didn't do anything, they should be held responsible for this. And I know there's going to be some of my people that are going to see this and say, yeah, that's how they treat us. You know, that's how they treat black people, blah, blah, blah. Let me tell you, we're not talking about someplace in Idaho or something. This is Atlanta, Georgia. All right? Atlanta, Georgia is run by black people. The sheriff's black. The mayor is black. The district attorney is black. The district attorney is supposed to be investigating things like this. Fonnie Willis, she is the district attorney of Fulton County. We also have the federal monitors that are monitoring this jail, but it doesn't seem to be getting any better. So I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you once again for stopping by and checking me out. I would like to hear your questions and comments. And until next time, as always, peace and stay safe.